All right, let's see if I can copy and paste that. Set position. I did it. Yay! They said that I would do it. Okay, so, and what year was it actually? It was 92. All right, well, that's close. Okay, so Vikanze, which you guys know as Tata Steel, used to be an A group and a B group. Then it was an A group, a B group, and a C group, and now it's an A group and a B group again. Plus, they have lots of those smaller, like open tournament stuff. Anyway, so I got invited to the B group a couple of times, and the average rating was like 2,500 FIDE, something like that. And that was about my ratings. I was like an average player. Anyway, in 92, I got paired with Patrick Wolf. It was a round robin, so you play everybody, like in round 3 maybe. And it was a really boring draw in a Grunfeld. Somehow we managed to trade everything, and it was unpleasant. It was just like 15 moves and there was nothing on the board. So it was a draw. So the next round I was like, roar, roar. And I decided to just go totally nuts because the game before that was unsatisfying. And I played Gert-Jan de Boer, who's a Dutch IM, and I was white. And he also played the Grunfeld. So I was like, all right, no more bishop f4, e3. We're just going to play the main line and play sharp. And in this position, de Boer played b6, which I'm not familiar with. I mean, c5 is, the main line. Or he could play c5 before castles and transpose. Okay, so I don't play this line with white, so I'm out of any kind of opening prep I have. Now, when I was younger, I was pretty good. Now I'm not good. God damn, I'm not good. But I used to be pretty good. And so I used to be able to calculate a lot, and I wouldn't get into horrible time trouble like I do now. And I was more confident then, and better looking, and stacking paper to the ceiling. All right, so I played h4, which is fine, just super aggressive move. He played knight c6, so I pinned it. And then I played h5, putting it at h. And then he took back. It turns out this has all been played before, and he was playing very quickly. This is all theory, but I don't know. Okay, this is still theory. Okay, now I'm threatening g6 because he's pinned here. Okay. And it turns out this position, which he got to without thinking very much, is from a Jan Timman game from a few years before this game. And Timman's his countryman, they're Dutch. And he was telling me this story, and I said, I can't understand you. I'm sorry, I don't speak freaky deaky Dutch. Now, I've never said freaky deaky Dutch, but I said it twice today. There is a joke. And that woman, the Stella woman, who was speaking nonsense, I told a friend of mine, I don't understand her. I can't speak freaky deaky Dutch. So, anyway, $9.99. Stacking paper to the ceiling. Okay, but where's my 24-inch chrome? All right. So now, the game in question that Timman had played, he won very quickly with black. Okay, I played bishop d5, played bishop b7, obviously. And then when the next day of this tournament, now, what? This may surprise you, but I used to be pretty well known for playing chess, not for being an idiot on the stream. And one of my biggest fans when I lived in Europe and played in Europe was Victor Korchnoi. Korchnoi was always like, "What up, dog?" And this before when I beat Galfand, the game that I've shown a billion trillion fucking times. Before I played Galfand, Korchnoi said, "Who you playing, dog?" And I said, "Galfand." And he said, "Be careful." And then I beat Galfand easily. And then he said, "Show me that game." And I showed him. He said, "Yeah, good game." Okay, so now it's the morning, and we're at the hotel, some hotel in Vikanze. We're all staying there. And I go down to breakfast, and I see Korchnoi and Bronstein sitting together talking. And I said, "Did you guys see my game last night?" And they're like, "No." And I said, I sacked a rook and I mated the guy like 1,000 moves later. I don't know why I said something like that. And then I showed them the game because, Bronstein and Korchnoi are pretty good. And then some of the best analysis of this game was that evening after the game. I was at an Italian restaurant in Vikonze, and Yasser was there. And Yasser said, tell me the game. And we were just eating. And I told Yasser the game while he was eating with no chessboard, and he was suggesting improvements for my opponent that were correct. So I used them in my analysis. Like black should play here and black should play here. Yeah. Probably Yasser's analysis better than my opponent's analysis while he was eating and blindfolded. So 92, yeah. Okay. Now, Korchnoi didn't say dog. Okay, so now, now chill. Hold on. Get seatbelt. Okay, I played rook h5. And then I showed this to Uma Thurman, and she said, God damn. Okay, so the point of rook h5 is clear to the veriest tyro. Even if you have an advanced degree in hyperbolic topology and you're dim-witted, you'll get this. So the idea is I want to play queen h6 check, and the other idea is I want to play rook g5 and knight f5 in some order. It doesn't matter what order. Okay, so I played rook h5. Thanks for the 9 cents. And he's got to take. So he took. Okay, and I played knife f5 check. Knife f5. And that's the point of rook h5 is he has to take my rook, and now his pawn's not on g6, so knife f5. Okay, now queen takes knight loses because I win a queen. King g6 hangs mate in 1. King g8 hangs the queen to a fork. So the remaining moves are these three. If he goes to h8 or h7, I just check him, king g8, and then bishop takes knight, threatening mate and the bishop. So he has to play king f6. It's pretty clear. Yeah. Pretty clear. Okay, king f6. Okay. And then I take on c6. He has to take back. And then I take on e5. Now here, he can take the pawn or play king e6. Either one's fine. He took the pawn. If he plays king e6, I check. If he tries to hang on to his bishop, I play mate. So he would have to just let me take the bishop and go king c8 or king e6. And the engine says it's about equal. But he played king takes e5, which is fine. King takes e5 is okay. And I checked. Now, he can't play king f4 because many moves win, but g3 wins the easiest. And then if king f3, this wins his queen because he has to get up his queen. It's no other legal move. And if he plays king here, this is mate, obviously, frankly. So he can't play king f4. He has to play king e6. Okay. And I play f3. Never play f3. And the idea with f3 is I'm defending my pawn here, so he can't trade queens. And now I can castle because he's not doing that. Now the engine says every move is equal. Queen here, queen here, queen here. Doesn't matter what he does. He took on g2. I checked. He can play king d7 or king e5. If he plays king d7, I castle with check and then take his bishop. And the engine says it's equal. But all right. He played here, which is fine. And I took. And now he has to start checking me. Check, 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 check. And if I don't want to draw, I have to move my king up to c4. And the engine says, don't move your king up to c4. Like, don't do that. So this should be a draw now, but he thought he was winning. Now, obviously, he can't take the rook because king's no good. So this is just a quick mate. I mean, taking the rook is suicide, obviously. King's ridiculous. Okay, so he thought he was winning. Otherwise, he probably would have checked me, and I would either have to try to lose or I would just acquiesce to the draw. He played queen f3. And the reason that loses, and the engine says it's a draw, which is wrong. Okay, now it says he's losing. The engine had to keep up. Is because after this, obviously this is mate, and obviously this mate we've already looked at. No, not that. That's not the right mate. This is the right. This wins his queen. Yeah. Okay, so he played king takes e4, and he thought he was winning. Now it's true he is winning, except I have one move that wins that he didn't see. So every move loses for white, except the one move that doesn't lose, which turns out to win. And this is one of the things that I learned about chess when I lived in Europe before most of you were born. These moves are hard for the opponent to see, these types of moves. Okay? I saw a lot. I don't know what I saw, but I saw plenty. Yeah. All right, so what's the only move white can make that doesn't lose? It turns out it wins. And he just told me after the game he didn't see this move. So, truth hurts. Knight g3 check is correct. Yeah. And people don't see retreats. They're looking to move forward, but always retreat. Yeah. Okay. The point is if king d5, I can skewer his king and queen. So, he either has to get mated here or give his queen up for nothing. So, getting mated's bad, as you can see. So he played king d3, check. He can't take this pawn because I skewer. I might have better than that, but and he can't play here because I mate. So obviously he has to play king c4. And now he has to take my rook, otherwise I'm going to mate him in like 3 moves. Like, for example. For example. There's other mates, but okay. And then this is mate for your edification. Okay, so he had to take my rook. Then this is funny. You know when you watch chess in the movies and TV, and one guy goes check, and the next guy goes check? Just like in our game. All right. And then this is a funny part of the end of the game, is in this position, I played the best move. The engine says mate in 5, and no other move is mate in 15 or less. This is the only quick mate, and I played it here. Let's see if you guys can get it. Why not king d3? I already talked about king d3. Well, he did play king d3. He did play it. That's what he played. King f3 is correct. Yeah. Yeah, now this is why this is funny. Here my opponent blundered, but it was the best move. So when I say he blundered, he hung a rook because he didn't see I could take his rook. So he's in horrible time trouble. Horrible time trouble. And he played here and I took his rook. Okay. He didn't see I could take his rook. He told me. But actually that's the best move. Because I'm threatening 3 different checkmates in 1 and 2 different checkmates in 2. Queen g4, queen g2, or queen g2, queen g4. The only way to stop mate is to go here and give your rook away. So he's so good at chess that when he hangs everything, it's the best. So he played here and I took, and then I won. And when the game ended, and I analyzed it with my opponent, we concluded I'm the greatest chess player who ever lived. After the rook sack, I was winning, and, I'll be world champion soon. Then over the next day or two, analyzing with other people, it's a draw, the rook sack, and, he has to defend well, and he made a bad move. It wasn't a brilliant rook sack. It was, interesting. From a computer point of view, it was okay. But from a human point of view, that was very exciting. And that made up for the game before, where I had a really boring draw with Patrick Wolf. Terrible.